First game is live. I just started it. Once more, guys, these games are not live, but they are very, very recent. So they're played roughly 1 or 2 hours ago. We get the replays immediately from one of our awesome admins who's sitting in the other room. And now we cast them for you guys. And while we speak, the next round is going on already. And by the time that the next round is done, we get the replays of those games and we cast them for you as well. So it's not live, but it's pretty damn close to live.
It is about the closest you can get to live without being completely live.
Unless you have a 5-minute delay on a stream. Would you still consider that live or not?
At what point does the delay make it no longer live?
Because, you know, I actually thought about this. Before we go ahead and introduce these
this
players.
This is like the chicken and the egg paradox.
Yeah, no, like I've watched football in the past. And I've watched actually a game on TV which was very close to the actual stadium, so I could hear the fans cheer when someone scored. But I was watching the game on TV and suddenly I hear everybody cheer in the stadium. I was like, what? The free kick hasn't even been taken yet. Well, I guess it must go in, right? And then
you quickly call your bookie, bet, he's going to make this goal.
And then it went in. I was like, wow, I actually kind of feel betrayed by my television. It's like I am having the feeling, because when you see something, you're praying for something that actually already happened or not, because like you said, oh my god, I hope this goal goes in, please, one time. But then actually it's already decided whether it goes in or not. I felt betrayed. I felt I'm not watching a live sports broadcast anymore.
You know, I have a similar story. Of course, Kev, I grew up in the South where everybody chews tobacco and shoots guns. And one day, I was at my parents are divorced. I was at my mom's house. My dad lived in the same neighborhood. So I was talking to my dad on the phone, and he was out on his front porch with his shirt off shooting his gun. And I would hear the gunshot through the phone, and then I would hear the gunshot echo through the neighborhood. So was that gunshot really live?
Well, I guess it was pretty live, so after all, he was the one shooting the gun. But I have no idea. Anyways, man, let's go ahead and introduce the players, as we have MVP SC being the red Terran spawning on the left bottom side of everybody's all-time favorite map, and hopefully a map that we will never, ever, ever remove as long as we love this game. It is Daybreak, of course. And on the right top side, Ben, we have TSL Inori. Now, Inori, Ben, if I say Inori, I think of one best of 3 and one result that actually basically 2 best of 3s that he played once upon a time. Do you know what I'm talking about? Inori against Zergs at an MLG. You still don't know? TSL Inori was one of the very first Protoss players in a long time to actually beat Stefano at that one MLG.
That's exactly right.
But
beat
then
Stefano and then went on to be beaten by Idra.
Yes, then the unthinkable happened. He beat Stefano, but he lost to Idra. Now, of course, that's not unthinkable because Idra is a fantastic player and can beat anybody. But in ZVP regards, normally you would say a guy that beats Stefano should be able to beat Idra as well.
Legendary Zerg versus Protoss, and that he usually gets to about 180 supply and then quits. And in this case, he stayed the course, perhaps feeling that he must avenge his Zerg brother.
Man, the Zerg force is strong in that one. That one being Idra. Yeah, Inori is starting off quite standard so far. The 1 gate, no gas, fast expand. Of course, that's a build that all you guys know, and we know it as well. Well, NC is opening up very standard as well. No 1 Rex, no gas, fast expand. So right now it's about as standard as we're gonna get. Inori right now just poking in, but he saw the command center before. He knows he can't bust his bunker. It would have been awesome for Inori if that bunker... Ooh, I hope he's paying attention. I love it as he's doing over here. Beautiful marine movement and picks off the first Stalker.
That is, in fact, very nicely done.
And you saw it as well. This is, of course, something, guys, that you should always do at home. This is something I've said many times on cast. If you haven't seen it yet, whenever there is a unit which you think your opponent is not watching, don't unload from the bunker, shoot at the Stalker, because it alerts the Stalker. The Stalker runs right. Inori will look at his Stalker, then run away. MVP, move command, got as close to the Stalker as possible, then started shooting at it. And that's the way you can kill a unit when you think your opponent is not watching.
You guarantee the most damage possible. That's a really good point, Kev. As we see just more pretty standard normal stuff happening on both sides of the map. Kev, I was thinking about maybe renaming Daybreak to Staybreak.
Stay.
Because when you start a game at Daybreak, you're going to stay in your seat for a while.
And it's a stable. It's going to be stable as well. You know how some maps are bumpy, right? Daybreak is the opposite. I'm not against it, man. I think Daybreak rolls off the tongue quite nice.
Maybe we could call it Blindfold Break?
Well, actually, man, right now, Inori is... I hope for him not all that blind. He's going to have to drop a force field. Otherwise, all these Marines could pose a small threat. That's an odd force field. That's everything can still stream up.
That's going to be really annoying. Sentries are not that good against these Marines, but the SC does not want to push his luck, of course. Warp ends would
But he
could
forced
potentially turn things around.
Forced Inori to warp in 2 Zealots. Not even sure if he really wanted those 2 Zealots. Now, of course, Zealots are good throughout the entire game, so it's no biggie. But perhaps he rather would have dropped some additional tech buildings before warping those Zealots.
Certainly. It's just pressure. It's just pressure. It's SC just kind of dictating the game a little bit. By putting on that little bit of pressure, he also knows that Inori doesn't have a whole lot of units sitting back there. He says, oh, well, you were scared of me. You obviously don't have a whole bunch. I can kind of go back, and I don't have to really worry about you pushing across the map and killing me with 4 gate, for instance, because in that case you would have had more stuff. And we know that is, in fact, what's going on, because we can see in Inori's base, he is going up to Twilight Council and Forge, so he's going to be getting at least a couple of upgrades before he tries to get aggressive. Yeah,
interesting opening over here by Inori. So what I'm expecting him to do is get charge first. I would be pretty surprised if he gets blink first. Blink is better in defending, but on moments like this, when you open up like this, well, he is getting blink first. Blink is excellent against drops, but if your opponent just attacks you straight on, Ben, it can get very tricky. Certainly when there are so many Marauders in the mix already. If you look at his army, wouldn't you rather have charge?
I would rather have charge, Kev. Marine Marauder is pretty damn good against an infinite number of Stalkers, and against just 4 Zealots and 2 Sentries.
Oh, Ben, and now he's actually dropping the Robo Bay as well, so that means that he's sort of getting a little bit of both tech pads, but it's going to be very late, and Inori is going to have to drop some really good force fields to stay alive for a little while.
He is aware this is coming. His observer saw the army moving out, and he's got a second observer parked right over this ramp. So, I'm just waiting
I think
for
even
SC
if he
to
drops
see this
force
and
fields,
scan.
Ben.
Oh, and he does see it. He does scan, and he kills that observer. So it's going to make it a little bit harder for Inori.
He's going to send some units via the south side, perhaps, over here to try to sandwich his Protoss army.
Very smart. Inori's going to be committing all of his units to this southern ramp. But there's another observer in a brilliant spot. I've got to say, very impressed with Inori's preparation here.
But still, I think Inori's in a lot of trouble. This bio army is so much stronger than the army of the Protoss player.
Oh, you're exactly right, Kevin. There's the big flank. Marines and Marauders just pour up the ramp and right through all the units of Inori, and that is a very fast first game. MVP's SC taking down Inori in the first map on Daybreak, and that was unlike most Daybreak games.
That was unlike most PvT games, because I'm sure that a lot of Terrans are watching right now, like those Terrans that struggle in TVP. All right, let's watch SC. Maybe I can learn a little bit from it. And then he's like, oh, come on, they never do that against me. That was
some really smart army movement,
yeah,
man.
it was, no doubt about that. But still, the biggest problem, in my opinion, for Inori was that he tries to go for Blink. Blink wasn't even ready yet, didn't Chrono Boost it. He also dropped the Forge, and then he also drops the Robo Base. Like, why wouldn't you drop the Robo Bay before anything of that?
All the tech.
Yes, let's get everything at the same time.
It was kind of a build order loss.
Yeah, you can say that. But one that he kind of caught up on himself as well. I mean, sure, if his opponent never attacks, we never have to talk about this. But just too greedy, getting too many things at once, and not even being able to deal with the very first Sim Bio army without the single medevac. I mean, the timing was very odd, so beautiful play there by SC. Smart as well, smart movement, but still, I think Inori could have done a whole lot better than that.
He's going to have to step it up in game number 2, folks. We're going to take a very short break, and then we will be back with a lot more North American Star League Season 4 Qualifier number 4, broadcasts and games and tournaments and stuff. We're giving away some money in 2 more days, so you better not go anywhere until we're done. 48 hours from now.